Wait. Happy Memorial Weekend, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate everybody watching the Joe Boo Sports Report. We've been doing this for a long time, and it's real easy to tune out. To something you watched a long time, so I appreciate it. This is crazy to me how people want to make you, I don't have a problem with Eagle fans being happy or Commander fans being happy and stuff, but I don't understand why others feel the need to steal your joy. If you want to be happy about something, by all means, go ahead and be happy. Just do. Life is too short. Life is too crazy, and the world is crazy right now. Why not let somebody be happy what they're doing? If it ends up being that it's a pile of shit, if it makes them happy, you do you, bro. But it seems like that's the thing that Eagle fans, it's amazing. Philly 500 has literally texted me this evening and told me, the Cowboys suck and the Cowboys stink. My cousin, he's called me and told me your team stinks and you suck and this, that, and the other. I got people emailing me and telling me they suck and all that. I do my live stream and I get Momo and Leo in there telling me your team sucks and everything else. And people like Drew, your team sucks, your quarterback's a choker, your coach is a bum. Wade, I love you, Wade, but I swear I think you've got multiple personalities. Because sometimes you come in and you're just like happy as can be, and yeah, man, we're gonna be all right. And then the next time I talk to you, you're going crazy and stuff. I see you on Law Nation, you're all respectful and nice. It's like, wait a minute, is this the same dude? Be that as it may, we said that, or some people have said, Brian Schottenheimer is just like Jason Garrett hired. They hired from within. Hold up. Let's just back this shit up for a minute here. I want you to understand, Jason Garrett's coaching experience was quarterback's coach for Nick Saban for 2 years. Actually, 2 years. I was going to say Nick Saban didn't stay the whole second year, but be that as it may. He then gets hired as the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and then the next year gets hired as a head coach. He had 3 years of coaching experience to totality before he became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, you may say that Brian Schottenheimer, he wasn't one of the hot coordinators, what happens is a team is successful, so automatically everybody gets to be a hot coordinator. Like say Josh McDaniels, he was a hot coordinator twice. How did he do as a head coach? How did all of those guys that were hot coordinators under Bill Belichick do? Now we'll see what happens to the hot coordinators that were working with the Detroit Lions. But I'm going to say, I think Brian Schottenheimer is going to be more successful than any of those other hires that were this year. I'm saying take it to the bank. Here's the thing. Here's the real question, because we hear, now Overshown's the latest one who's talking about the energy and the excitement and can't wait to get back to play for Schottenheimer. See, some people will say, like Wade, that we, instead of getting a guy who's a player's coach, we need a foot in the ass coach. Well, I'm not sure that foot and ass coach works anymore. I'm not sure that does. I'm trying to think around who is foot and ass coach right now. I think John Gruden was one of those foot and ass coaches, and it worked when he was at Tampa Bay a while ago. At least it worked with Tony Dungy's guys. As they got older, then that didn't work out too good. But he went with that style, Chucky, with the Raiders. Didn't seem to work. Not even a little bit. But, see, I'm almost wondering where Brian Schottenheimer can be the player's friend, the motivator, the guy that wants to know, how's your turtle? How's your wife and the baby? What'd you do this weekend? But I think Caden Adams might be his pit bull, might be his bad cop. Now, here's the thing that we have to understand. We can all agree that our running game last year sucked and wasn't anywhere near what we needed, right? It got better as the season went on, but even at the end of the season, that's still, we need to do better than what we did at the end of the season. First part of the season, we won't even talk about. Hell, I might have been out there, would be out there running, picking up a half a yard at a time, like we did on some of those runs. But here's what we know is the Arizona Cardinals, with Caden Adams, who seems to be kind of more of a throwback type of a coach, who wants to have fun, wants to play downhill, wants to be aggressive, and wants to break people's will to want to play. Gets a player like Tyler Booker who wants to play downhill, who wants to break people's will to want to play, and wants to have fun doing it. Caden Adams might be that guy that puts foots in asses. You know what I'm saying? Schottenheimer, as the head coach, you have to understand, the head coach is like the CEO. Yes, he will be calling plays, but really, it's his assistants, his coordinators that are doing the work directly with the players. There's the ones that make the sausage. Schottenheimer's job is get everything he needs for the guys to teach the players. To be the middleman with the front office and making sure they understand what we need and get me the resources. To be the face of the franchise, to explain what's going on, and so on. That's the main gist of the job. And of course, he'll be calling plays too. But we know his identity and his philosophy of wanting to run the ball better is going to filter down to the others. And if we can do anything, if we can get some of what Caden Adams was able to do with the Arizona Cardinals, and if we can get some of what Schottenheimer can do or learn from his dad with Marty Ball, combine that with two great wide receivers and a quarterback who is very accurate, this offense can do a whole lot of things. And if this offense can play like they have in past years where they're scoring 28, 30 points a game, you're going to make the opposition more one-dimensional and have to play against our strength, which would be our edge rushers, our getting upfield and getting after the quarterback. And that's where you don't want to be. You want to have, against the Cowboys, you want to have a mano versus a mano slugfest. So that way you can have your big dogs going against the Cowboys pass rushers that are a little light in the ass. So the Cowboys, that offense is going to need to be humming. Now, I like the way the season is actually set up. Get the Eagles game out of the way early. If you win, you got a feather in your cap. If you lose, you're not expected to. But you have 10 days to recover before you play the Giants and then the Jets. You could start stacking up some wins. You could end up losing the first game and end up being 3-2 after the first 5, or hell, 4-1. And if that's the way you start out, you're doing fantastic. And it will give you a chance to get your legs underneath of you and understand what these coaches are doing. Ultimately, everything is new for everybody. So it is a learning curve. And anybody out there, because what Eagle fans and Commander fans are sitting there trying to say is Cowboys talking about Super Bowl. Ain't no Cowboy fans that are true, real fans that understand football are talking about Cowboys Super Bowl. It's not happening. It's not. So stop lying on us. So that's my thoughts right there on Brian Schottenheimer. I look at him and say, he's been an assistant coach. He's been offensive coordinator with the Jets back when the Jets were going to AFC championship games with Mark freaking Sanchez. He had Russell Wilson for 3 years when Russell Wilson was cooking, and he was here with Dak Prescott the last time Dak Prescott had 36 TDs and 10 interceptions. So I feel good about the guy. You, well, you can feel where you want to. But I'm not going to let anybody steal my thunder and what I'm enjoying. Phew. Alrighty, good people. Tomorrow is Memorial Day. I'm going to go by and see my mom. And I'm going to go by my dad and my brother's grave sites and leave them some flowers. I miss my dad. Every time there's some breaking news on the Cowboys, I keep reaching for the phone, tell my dad, hey, here's what's going on, Dad. But he's not there anymore. Good people, remember how precious life is. And make the most of every moment. They sure are. And stop trying to steal people's thunder. Instead of you worrying about trying to make somebody else feel bad, maybe you should be out there trying to make yourself feel better. I love you guys. Peace out.